What's going on, guys? NateGould here, and we're going to talk about Nuke. If you're not sure what this video is in reference to, in the description will be two links. One will be for the original video talking about map pools, and the other one will be a link to the playlist where the other maps will be located. Now, first we're going to talk about the CT side, advantages and disadvantages. So the benefits of CT side are it's easy to rotate. You can get from A to B in seconds. It's easy to read and it's easy to adjust your CT side. Like if you know they're playing outside a lot, you can rotate a person out and rotate a person secret. If you know they're pushing ramp raw, or if they they have low money, you can stack two ramps, stack two winner. They're probably not gonna go outside, take a long range battle if they don't have the nades for it. And also it takes a lot of nades to get outside control. It takes a lot of nades to get ram control. It takes a lot of nades to get A control unless they just rush through. But there's so many angles they could be when they rush through, and it's so easy to just stop them with mollies that it's so easy to play CT side as long as you pay attention. You know what I mean? For instance, if you have an opper who's getting a kill or two every round outside for like 3 rounds straight, stack inside. They're probably not going to go outside anymore. They're getting shut down. Make sure your opper is passive enough to get away but still can see if they cross. And then if they rush inside, you have 2 people there. If they rush ramp, you have 2 people there. If they push outside heavy, don't rush ramp first. You can rotate one easily through into B site, and he can cut it off if they get secret. So you can always rotate around and move around to cut off where they're going because it's so easy to read. So that's a huge advantage on the CT side. The disadvantages are if the economy is low, it's extremely hard to hold off pushes. If you don't have mollies and nades, they can still run through 3 guys' hut and trade you. If you're at least not doing the extra damage so that your body shots, if it just takes a couple bullets because you're molly to kill each one, then you can get the triple spray down. But if you don't have any of that and you have to use all these bolts on the first and second player, you're probably not going to get the third. They can trade it. They can do the same thing out squeaky, and they can get sight pretty easily. So if you don't have the utility and if you don't keep the money and you don't prioritize molly, nades in this map are okay, but I would always go molly and have like a smoke. Or just molly and flash would even be fine because they can just run through a smoke. You're going to find out in the first 15 seconds if they're just going to rush out upper or not. So you need to have the molly to make sure they can't do it. Same thing with vents. You're going to know if they're going to rush vents in the first 15 seconds or not. Just make sure you have the mollies. So if you don't have the economy for any nades though, it can be extremely hard to hold off pushes. And it is easy to get shut out outside. If they throw smokes, they can really cut you off. And there's a lot you can do with outside. It doesn't seem like it. Like the old nuke, you could just smoke it outside and you pretty much had secret and it was hard to get anywhere else. But now with the catwalk, there's more boxes outside so they can just jump through smoke and get in those boxes and kind of walk around. And they can just, you could push 2 through your smoke towards mini, push 2 through your smoke towards garage, split that guy and have a guy catwalk for the guy who's in heaven trying to shoot down. And you can really just kill 2 or 3 players like that. And then you have the map, right? You have heaven, you can get into secret, you can get into mini, you can get into hell. So that's probably the easiest thing for the T's to do. But if you, as a CT, make adjustments, like I said, and know that they're doing stuff like that and they're taking outside so easily, you can turtle, have a guy watch heaven, turtle up 2 guys in a crossfire A site, turtle up 2 guys down low on the steps. So if they run secret, you have 1 on each stair and you can crossfire them running through. And you can adjust easily to stop that. So even if you give them the outside map control, but if you try to fight for outside and they isolate you with those smokes, that's the easiest, that's very easy to lose picks that way. And that's probably the biggest disadvantage of CT. Because if you try to fight too much outside and you're losing it, you're going to start throwing rounds away. And you're going to start throwing your economy away. As far as T side, it's easy to shut down aggression. It's really hard to push as a CT if you pay attention to it because you make noise going ramp, dropping down to go hut, opening the squeaky door. And if you run outside, you're just right out in the open if you have a guy upper and a guy lower. It's pretty easy to, one of them should see you and find you, and usually you push with 3 people outside anyway. So if they're trying to get aggressive, it's it's a pretty easy trade. So it's easy to shut down the CTs trying to get like an early pick. It's easy to go outside and still not telegraph it, like I said, because you could smoke out different ways and different things. They're not always going to know. They're just not going to be able to see, but maybe you're going mini, maybe you're going secret, maybe you're going heaven. What else we got here? Sorry. Low economy rushes are great on this map. You can throw, you can molly hut, smoke mini, and smoke heaven from outside. And then that's it. You're in the site with Tech 9s. One's not going to be above you. One could be straight above you. You kind of clear that angle. And you just clear the direct angles when you come through squeaky. And it's pretty easy to, it's not easy, but it's doable, right? Same thing, you can rush ramp, it's doable. You can Tech 9 armor and catch a team off guard. and get around that way and get your economy back into shape and put them on a save or ruin their economy. Obviously, the downsides are there's so many small choke points getting into sight. Lots of angles going into any site. There's plenty of places for the CTs to hide. Especially it's like you get ramp control and you walk out ramp. You could be either side down low holding it. You could be shadow. Sorry, I've been sick for like a week. He could be control. He could be toxic. He could be by either door in the small room, in vents. He could be anywhere. So there's just a lot of angles that when you do get into sites, they can just kind of just try to like, you know, just sideswipe two of you in like a one and done spot and playing a bunch of off angles. And it's just kind of like a guessing game sometimes if you don't have the right utility or have the right system put in place to check those spots. And so that's kind of a big disadvantage as a T. It's easy to get mollied out, right? If you get down secret, they just molly it. Your push is kind of held if they're down low. You throw a smoke heaven, he mollies hut, he pushes back out rafters, you have to push through, and then you're kind of in a disadvantage. It's and the footsteps are really messed up in train because, or Nuke, I'm sorry, the sound is like one plane. And so when you're walking heaven and you're walking A site, it could sound like the same spot. And if you're in control room, it could sound like the same spot if you're on A. So it kind of hurts both teams, but in the beginning of the round, if you're a CT and someone's like, I think I hear someone heaven, you're like, no, I'm heaven, they have to be hell, or they have to be hell, they have to be control room. And if your teammate's looking hell and doesn't see anyone, you can guess one of them made it down low if they make a footstep. So when you're a CT and you still have control and you hear these footsteps, you know where your team is and where your team's not, obviously, so you at least can fill in the gaps with the sound. Whereas the Ts don't know where you are, and it's more of a guessing game in the beginning of the round. If they don't have any control and they just hear footsteps, they're not 100% sure where you are. Even though the sound kind of hurts both, it could still benefit the CTs a little bit just because they have more knowledge of that side of the map where you're hearing things because they're there. That's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, both links for the original map pool video and the playlist will be in the description below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more maps. Thanks.